Good evening, Iowa and the world. Welcome to the Doc and Lefty program, broadcasting to you from the lavish studios of webcast1live.com in downtown Des Moines. This is Lefty coming to you with the perspectives you love from the sides you hate. And with me, as always, is the main man across the political divide, but close in my heart, Patrick Petrosh. Doc, what's up?
You know, I'm doing pretty good. I think we're going to have an exciting show today. We have Ryan Rhodes.
Exciting.
We have DJ Maddie G in the house.
Spinning on the ones and twos. You know how we do.
Oh, I know. She's got great and exciting news that if she wants to share, we'll let her share.
Okay.
I also have a correction because occasionally I bungle stuff. And frequent listeners to the show know it's usually more often than not. And so this one, I had stated we have a special guest today, Ryan Rhodes, who's still special and is still a guest. But the part where I screwed up is I said he's going to be Iowa's campaign manager for Ben Carson. It turns out he hasn't officially announced. We were just excited to get Ryan on the show, especially if, Ben Carson with the Ben Carson connection.
I don't think
so. I apologize for the error there.
And instead, he's the state director for the American Legacy Foundation, and which is. We'll dig into that work here in the first couple of minutes, Ryan, if that's okay. Before we get into the issues,
So how have you been? Your gigs this weekend go pretty good?
It was on Friday. It was kind of funny because I play a lot in West Des Moines, and I lived in West Des Moines for a long time. I'm over on the west side of town for a long time before I moved back to God's country over by North High School. And and
it's God's country only if you're from the south side.
well, I work on the south side, so
So it is God's country.
You've basically alienated about half of Des Moines, but that's
and I'm all right with that.
That's okay.
Because I'm on the good half.
The economic base is sort of more in your neck of the woods. But anyway, no. So I play a lot on West Des Moines, and I'll tell you what. The gig was from 9 to midnight, and you can definitely tell the kind of people that you're playing for, because from 9 to about 10:30, 11-ish were all of the middle-aged West Des Moines folks that don't care about a guitar player in the corner of a bar, that do not engage whatsoever. But as long as you play a couple of songs they recognize, they'll give you pretty good, and then come up to you later during break. The last hour, some younger kid, and this is how I know that I'm getting older too. My birthday's on Friday, and I'm starting to get a little.
That's right.
I'm starting to get a little. Thank you. I'm starting to get a little ancient over here. It was that these 20-year-old kids, probably 22, 23, just old enough to drink. We're in the bar about 11 o'clock, and I play mainly 90s covers, and they knew them all. And oh my God, I haven't heard that song. It was vintage. That was like you. Hearing, oh man, I don't know.
Eagles.
Eagles. I would have gone.
Flock of seagulls.
Yeah, I would have gone a little older than that, maybe. But but no. In all seriousness, like you hearing something, the Eagles, or maybe
Dean
some.
Martin?
So yeah, right. Or maybe like AC/DC or something, and going nuts for that. Me hearing some of the music that I was really into in the late 80s and stuff. And
Britney Spears.
It cracked me up. I do cover Britney Spears.
I know you do.
That's awesome.
It's so cute.
It's awesome. No,
it's adorable. I'm telling you should listen to it.
It's very good. But anyway, so that's how it went. How was your last week after the mammoth show we put together last Tuesday?
It took several days to recover from that mammoth show. It took several days.
I'm still not recovered.
Is that it? Oh, is that why you're looking a little red-eyed?
I'm still not recovered.
All right. So, my weekend was good. I didn't do much. Just cleaned up the house, ran around, and did the stuff I needed to get done. Of course, I should tell people. Next week, I'm going to be in Hawaii. So I'm going to be even darker next week than I am this week.
Very good.
So I'm going to try to call in. Hopefully, DJ Maddie G can do that. And we'll figure out what we're going to talk about. Because the week after that, we have super duper Justice League friend of the show, Brad Zahn.
Oh, God. Hall of Fame. Hall of Fame level.
The Hall of Fame
We're
level.
We're going to induct him.
We should.
We should.
Yes. And plus, I got a special guest since, Ryan and I know each other, obviously, through politics. Mm-hmm. So I thought I would give a gift at the end of the show to him. I think I'm going to start doing that for our guests. We're going to give him a small gift at the end of the show.
Oh, okay.
So hold on.
Very good.
Something happened to Ryan's camera.
No, it's all
He's
good.
much cuter than either one of us, so I don't know what he.
We got to keep it on him.
Oh yes, absolutely.
That's true.
So anyway, yeah, everything's going good. A lot of stuff in politics and news going on. All kinds of stuff. There's an article today about how ISIS is starting to get desperate because they're asking for $100 million per life now. I don't think that they're desperate. They're just sticking it in our eye. But anyway, that was an article I read on several
they're feeling the oil crash just like everybody else, though.
Yeah,
that is true.
Yeah, and there's that's the thing about. I mean, that's what we're going to talk a little bit about today is gas taxes. But the thing is you have to keep in mind with every good thing comes a bad thing. So there's a lot of negative things going on with low oil prices, and of course there's a lot of good things. One of the bad things with low oil prices is every stinking politician says, hey, oil prices are low. Let's go ahead and gouge the consumer. And with that segue, we're going to introduce Ryan Rhodes. Now, Ryan, I know, has made national news. He's been on several different programs. His big moment, I think, and correct me if I'm wrong, because I'm sure you've had a lot of big moments, is confronting President Obama over Obamacare. That seemed to make national news and carried on. Anyway, he is the Iowa director of... Take it away,
American
Lefty.
Legacy Foundation.
There you go. And he's heavily involved with Ben Carson and trying to convince Ben Carson run. I have a Run Ben Run sticker on my car. So, we're doing okay there. So, Ryan, tell us a little bit about yourself in the next 3 or 4 minutes.
Well, real quick, I mean, I kind of have got the political bug a little bit ago in college, and actually ran for state house back then, and did a little bit of good work there, but that wasn't quite successful. Learned a lot then, and then got back out to go get a real job, as they say, and then that wasn't that kind of kept the political bug, and got involved with the Iowa Tea Party. Actually launched one of the groups from kind of a spin-off of the Des Moines Tea Party, and so we did some stuff statewide. We did a convention, we did a bus tour with all the other presidential candidates, and I have worked on multiple campaigns, including back in 2010 as well, after a congressional campaign that Pat is familiar with.
Yeah.
We were both on the wrong side of that one, but I then took over and helped the state Senate Republicans, where we picked up 6 seats that year, actually, and it's kind of been just going along that ever since. I've been in and out with the private sector, but the political bug is there, and I believe that our nation we've got to do something to get us on the right path. And now I think there's nobody better to advocate and help us restore the American dream and heal some of the wounds that have happened over the last two presidential cycles than Dr. Ben Carson. And I really, really hope he will run. In the meantime, I'm working with him in part with the American Legacy Center on the issues advocacy he's doing.
All right. Now, that takes us up to our break. We want to thank all of our sponsors. We want to thank Lubinas Law Firm at lubinaslawfirm.com. Of course, my outfit, bertrosianassociates.com, Halo Capital at Des Moines Interest Rates.com, and Des Moines Anesthesia PC, our longest sponsor that we've had. Mm-hmm. So, whatever drugs I fed them at dinner that one night really seemed to have taken hold.
Well, it's just that they don't listen and they don't know what we do.
I disagree. I think they know exactly what we do. Anyway, they're great gas passers. In other words, is anesthesiology. Mainly, they do a lot of pain management. So if you're having problems with pain management, please give them a call at 515-574-6442. Follow us on Facebook and Twitter at Doc and Lefty. And of course, we have new blogs. I'm going to have a new blog coming up. I'm going to write one on the plane. So you can check those out at docandlefty.com. We'll be back right after this break. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in.
How can I help you?
Bertrosh and Associates will provide you with a friendly, caring, and confidential place to find help for mental health concerns. We are ready for your call. Our doctor, Dr. J. Patrick Bertrosh, provides a full range of psychiatric services for children, adolescents, and adults in a forthright and informative manner while maintaining a casual, comfortable, and relaxed atmosphere.
Whether you're 10, 25, 50, 80 years old and beyond, everyone needs to live within their means. I'm Tom Coates with Consumer Credit of America. For almost a quarter of a century, we've helped people of all ages learn to manage their personal finances to benefit them far into the future. When problems arise, we've got the experience you need to make those debt problems go away. Got financial problems? Call Consumer Credit of America.
From the RE/MAX Real Estate Concept Studios, this is Webcast One Live.
Hey, welcome back, everybody. Thanks for tuning in tonight. We're here with guest Ryan Rhodes, the Iowa State Director of the American Legacy Foundation Advocacy Group. Would you say think tank? Would you say think tank works?
Would be a
you don't hear a lot of
big take of brains.
Yeah, you don't hear a lot about think tanks in Iowa necessarily, but we've got a few, and Ryan is a part of one of them. Pat, you have a lot. You wanted to talk about the gas tax. Ryan wants to talk about the gas tax. Me, I'm a little ambivalent about the gas tax either way. So why don't you take it away here and you guys talk about it, and I'll do my thing. I'll do my patented sniping from the sidelines.
Is that
it?
Yeah, hiding in the bushes.
Yeah.
With your
your buddy said those guys were cowards.
Which
what?
The snipers.
The snipers? Who said that?
Michael Moore.
Oh, my buddy. Oh no, I
don't think Lefty's a Michael Moore fan.
I'm just
I don't know Michael per se. But I did. I'll tell you what. When Fahrenheit 9/11 came out, for me, I saw that movie at just the right time to just like really hit my outrage button. I think it came out sometime I was in college-ish, or maybe it was a little after college. I don't remember. Anyway, take it away.
So, well.
Sorry to distract.
What a wonderful segue on that.
Yeah.
So, we're going to talk a little bit about the gas tax now. As everybody knows, we're having oil prices that we haven't seen in 8-10 years, something like that. And their last I checked was
longer than that. I don't think
longer than that. Yeah,
I don't think gas has been down below $50 a barrel since the late 90s, early 2000s.
Yeah, something like it has been a long time. And the last I checked, it was under $40 a gallon or $40 a barrel for oil. And of course, a lot of the environmental impacts of having high oil prices is fracking. That's one of the things. Fracking is an expensive thing to do, and there's a lot of controversy surrounding it. So when when oil is up around $115 a barrel or over $100 a barrel, it makes financial sense. When it's below that, it doesn't make as much financial sense. So the bottom line is there's a lot of good things and a lot of bad things that come along with low oil prices. One of which is suddenly people stop using alternative forms of energy like solar and wind and the rest of it, and now they're right back to gas and using natural gas and everything else that comes out with the thing. One of the real benefits, though, is it makes everything cheaper for everybody. Keep in mind, diesel electric trains. Right? Diesel, you have to have oil for that. That's about the cheapest way and the least expensive way we have of transporting. But the bottom line is we use gas for all kinds of transportation needs. And if you reduce the cost of transportation, you've reduced the cost of foodstuffs at a basic level for everybody. You've reduced the cost of housing. You've reduced the cost of working. And that puts more money into every American's pocket. So from that perspective, it's good. Now, politicians being what they are, because we're still not back to Bush level prices, right? I mean, it was $1.80 or $1.84.
You mean Clinton level prices?
Well, Bush level prices was $1.84. We're not even there
Clinton
yet.
level prices. I remember 99 cents a gallon when I was in high school.
In 2008, it was $1.84. Yeah, but Clinton level prices, I'm all with you. We're nowhere near that, but we're not even back to Bush level prices yet. And we're not even don't even have a lower price than Bush era gas. And already the big thing is we're going to introduce a gas tax. Branstad pushed it hard last year. He's gotten some influential Democrats and Republicans lined up this year on it. It's going to be, they're going to increase the national gas tax. And of course, I think, and Lefty and I agree with this, that's one of the most regressive taxes you have out there.
I don't agree with that, but go ahead.
It is. It's one of the most it hits everybody. It hits the poor the most because they're the ones that have to commute to work.
The poor drive the buses. The middle
in
class
in Des Moines, Iowa, the poor. Yes, they do. But the bottom line is
the middle class drives. It hits the middle class the hardest, but it go on. I don't want to do too much of this arguing the specifics about it because I don't know. I don't know.
We're talking about it in 2 weeks anyway.
Yeah, well, the economic impact of the gas tax is such that a lot of both liberal and conservative economists say we need it, and so I don't know what to think about it.
Yeah,
and that's not, I'm just gonna let that sit there. If you guys, so I don't have an opinion one way or the other. I just know one thing: Republicans and Democrats in Iowa both agree. At least that's what at the legislature
agree.
A couple of them.
Republicans and Democrats in the state house agree that a gas tax that funds the road use tax fund in this state is required to help.
I think you'd be
build up the roads and bridges.
I think there's a minimal amount of Republicans that would agree
in the leadership. That's not what the leadership
says. There's a couple of them, but
who are the people in the leadership that would agree with this here in Iowa?
Well, I think for one, and Jake Chapman actually is a great guy who's proposed. Senator Jake Chapman has proposed an alternative to it, because I think you see a lot of people who realize that. You don't need to just raise taxes on everything every time, and that whether it's the national gas tax or the state gas tax. Like I said, I talked to Ben. Ben said he would not be for those gas taxes. Okay, he would not be for raising these taxes. The government takes in enough money. It's time that they start using the money they take in better. I think the same goes for the state level as goes for the federal level. When you have a budget that has surpassed $6 billion. And it was not even close to that recently. I mean, it's time to start going, okay, how can we use these funds better? And roads are a real purpose that we really need to do. And,
do you think Ben would support a percentage as opposed to a per gallon tax? Because I think that's part of the problem is we haven't had an increase since the mid-90s in the gas tax. And I know at least in the last 4 years that we've had to reach into the general fund, and that's nationally, reach into the general fund to be able to make these repairs that we've been wanting. Would you support a percentage tax, gas tax, or would you still want to stay with the per gallon gas tax?
Well, from my understanding on that, and he said he would not want new taxes on it, but from my understanding, it's time to start making the government do less, not just figuring out new ways for them to tax people. And whether it's percentage or other things, you can talk about trying to bring in more revenue there, but the fact is they're bringing in far more than enough revenue, and it's time to start using the revenue that's come in much better for the people. Roads is one of those ways. It is a necessary thing, and that would be on a priority list, obviously.
Now, we just had another bridge collapse on I-35 here. I think it was Friday. I can't remember the date, but I can tell you from even the new bridges that are being put up, those are great. But if you go to southern Iowa or out even to rural Iowa in Warren County, which is a fairly wealthy county, a lot of these bridges really are beat up. I mean, if you get out and look underneath, they're deteriorating at a record rate.
The one between Indianola and Knoxville is scary. That one, I can't remember the name of the town, but you'll know it when you see it. It's this old rail bridge that goes over the highway.
Yeah, absolutely. So, how would you address those issues? Because even though they have enough money, it's obvious that these bridges aren't getting fixed.
Well, once again, as we looked at the, I mentioned Senator Jake Chapman has a great bill that would actually utilize money going to the right areas without retaxing people. It's something I would encourage people to ask him about because it's a very unique bill that gets money out there that should be going that should be going to the road use and helps do that. The other problem is in Iowa specifically, the Time 21 formula is broken.
Okay.
Because all the money goes into Des Moines, and no matter how much you want to fix any of those rural bridges and those rural things, okay, Des Moines needs good roads too, but you could raise the gas tax and still not fix the problem. And that's what a lot of people don't want to acknowledge is that until you fix the formula, you're not going to fix the problem anyway. So far beyond having the ability to talk about raising it and then saying this problem will be solved overnight, it's time to actually fix the formula for distribution as well as realize that the constitutionally protected gas tax is actually more specific to highways than it is some of the rural roads that you want to get fixed. As well.
Now, we're going to be back right after this break. We have a special guest, Ryan Rhodes, who's working very hard to get Ben Carson run for president. When we come back, we have some comments and some questions about the gas tax, and then we're going to go on to our next subject, which is, what do you think? Abortion?
Sure.
Yeah, we always like abortion on this one. So we'll go hit the abortion subject next and finish up with gas tax. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. We'll be back right after this break.
Hey, psst. Let me let you in on a little secret. You ready? Always try to do business with people, not places. Especially if you seek honest Christian business people. And when it comes to my car, I really need to trust who's working on it. Now, my family is so blessed. A few years ago, we found a family-owned automobile repair shop that operates as a Christian business also. Open, honest, reliable, trustworthy. It's AMCO on Hickman Road in front of Kmart, and it's a family-owned Christian operating business. This family treats your car as if it was their car. Everything from oil changes to transmission repair and everything in between. So the next time you feel the need to be at peace with your choice of who you can trust with your car, give AMCO on Hickman a chance to serve you. And tell them Max sent you. From the RE/MAX Real Estate Concept Studios, this is Webcast One Live.
Hey, welcome back, everybody. Thanks for sticking around for this segment. We got Ryan Rhodes, the state director of the American Legacy Foundation, here with us today. You know, let's spend 3 seconds wrapping up gas tax because I want to ask you this question. And I have once again, I don't know really how I feel about it, but it sounds like the gas tax as constructed right now is designed to go towards roads, bridges, what have you, and being charged at the pump, it doesn't just get the Iowans that use the roads, it gets the out-of-state folks who use the roads. Terry Branstad, on his pre-State of the State address, or Condition of the State address last week, gave an interview saying, hey, we need to do this now while gas prices are low, so it doesn't hurt as bad. We know that oil is going to go up, but if we do it in a smart way, we can address that issue. Plus, we can spread the pain to folks who are out of state. These out-of-state companies that use I-80 and all these other roads with their trucks, which are the number one destroyer of road infrastructure in the country. It's surprising coming, especially in today's Republican Party. It's surprising that a Republican would say something like that. But is he on the right track? Has he just been boondoggled by the folks that are in favor of this? This is a Republican governor, man.
Without sounding like a broken record, call up Senator Jake Chapman and ask him for his solution, because it actually, without raising the taxes, goes back and uses.
Does that spread the pain towards out-of-state folks, like Terry says?
No, but I don't think I don't think it's finding ways to necessarily put it on somebody else. I think it's finding ways to operate within our means and to utilize funds that are there to. Why
don't you tell us just a little bit about Jake Chapman's bill? I mean, obviously you know much more about it than Lefty or I. So just real brief.
I guess I would, because it's something he introduced last time, getting stuff out there. I would let him get into it more, because he knows a little bit more detail on it.
We don't need detail. Just basically
basically it uses funds that are already. That we already have there without raising the gas tax, and it would get us out of just the basic time 21 formula, and it would get us into something where it actually goes to rural roads, and it's going to actually help those things. It really is a longer explanation than that.
You bet.
And so
okay,
all right. Well, my thing about the gas tax is. Trucks come into Iowa. Now, keep in mind, a lot of trucks go through Iowa. I mean, we're on I-80, 35. There's a lot of trucks just pass through. But these very same trucks are the ones paying taxes to be able to deliver food goods, foodstuffs to Iowans. They're the ones that are delivering cars to Iowans. They're the ones delivering, natural gas to Iowans. I mean, all kinds of things are out there that get penalized with this tax. There's a lot of different reasons why oil prices are low, but I don't think that, increasing the gas tax at this time is going to be the way to go. Lefty is correct. There's a lot of conservative economists that say we need an increase in a gas tax. Wall Street Journal says that. There's a lot of Democrats on the other side. I just think there's a different, better way to do it. Now so go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say, next thing.
The next thing is going to be a subject that Lefty and I have a tendency to avoid on here because I can't be reasonable about it. Sometimes I get mad and throw stuff, and we pretend we do a lot of stuff like this. And we do get mad sometimes, but I get a little unreasonable about it. So I'm going to take the lead on this one. Lefty's going to sit it out. What's Ben Carson's stance on abortion?
Ben Carson is pro-life. Oh, simple as that. He believes in that life should be protected from conception till natural end.
All right. So he's not a fan of third term partial abortions and all that.
Not.
All right. And so he's strong cradle to the grave kind of abortionist, or did he or abortion? I misspoke.
Abortionist.
Oh, I know. No, abortion opponent, or is this something that's kind of come over him as he's gone on?
It's something because Ben has gone out of his way to save lives that other people didn't think mattered. People who maybe were on death's door, people who were having trouble with their life. I mean, as a neurosurgeon, he lost people, but he saved an awful lot of people, and he had a very, very high success rate for that industry, but. That's the type of thing. Obviously, he understands that there are situations where you can't save the person, but related to no matter what you do. But he also understands that it's important to get out there and value life because, that's where our humanity comes from, and he has done more than anyone I can think of to get out there and save lives and put himself on the line to do it. And I have a profound respect for that.
All right, and so we've talked before. You're a pro-life person.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we've talked about that before. Now, what is his stance? Because we have here in Iowa specifically, we have a problem with telemedicine, and Blake screwing around with the what is that? The noise button?
It's the instant applause button. Or whatever.
We don't ever use it. I don't ever get the applause.
We don't. We talk about things like the gas tax, and all we hear is.
There you go. Hopefully people can hear that. So what I know is the telemedicine bill here in Iowa, there's a lot of impediments to being able to actually provide medical services outside of abortion because of all the blocks that they have in place because of the fear of the abortion pill. What do you think would be a good solution to this? Because I've talked to him. The main proponent has been Tom Shawn, who's a super Justice League friend of the show too. And it's one of those things where for me as a psychiatrist, it'd be wonderful if they remove some of these restrictions because as a psychiatrist, I don't need a nurse. I generally don't do actual medicine in my office.
I can't speak on a state level particularly. I know Ben is not for webcam abortions in any way, shape, or form. That's just not the type of thing that he would believe in. But I can just in terms of how medicine is delivered in some ways, I think there's a lot of working that amongst the state. It kind of segues into healthcare as a whole. Ben has actively said that the bigger the bureaucracy gets, the farther away from your doctor you get, and the more likely you are to have even bigger problems. So he wants to see us go, and I know I'm diverting back to kind of one of our final topics, is he wants to see HSA accounts. He wants to see state tort reform there. He wants to see things that are actually going to put the onus on the state and on the individuals on a local level where people can handle it more and where you're directly with your doctor instead of whether it's a big insurance bureaucracy or a big government bureaucracy. He wants to see it at a state and a local level. In terms of having some things be a little easier, I'm sure it would be. Allowing for a loophole for webcam abortions in any way, shape, or form, he'd be against.
All right. We have a special guest, Ryan Rhodes, with us today. He's working with Ben Carson, trying to get Ben to run. We also have the State of the Union address tonight. Isn't it going on right now?
I think so.
Yeah. And then our very own Joni Ernst, who is made the liberal left run screaming and pulling their hair out for some reason, who's going to be giving the response. One of our listeners, Dane Nelson, remember him? Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's saying he's hoping that she'll hold off at least until the ISU game is over. So we're with you, Dane, because you have to have your priorities. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. We'll be back right after this break. We're going to be going over the Obamacare subject next and where Ben stands on that. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. We'll be back right after this break.
Bertroche and Associates will provide you with a friendly, caring, and confidential place to find help for mental health concerns. We are ready for your call. We are proud to work with military personnel and their families. Our doctor, Dr. J. Patrick Bertroche, provides a full range of psychiatric services for children, adolescents, and adults in a forthright and informative manner while maintaining a casual, comfortable, and relaxed atmosphere. Our licensed mental health therapists provide individual counseling to children, adolescents, and adults, including couples and marital counseling. Visit our website at bertrocheandassociates.com for more information or call 515-334-9484. Our offices are located at 5525 Meredith Drive in Des Moines, just east of Skate North off Merle Hay Road. Isn't it time to talk to someone? Take care of yourself and your family. Contact Bertroche and Associates.
Welcome back, everybody. Thanks for sticking around for the first half hour. You can tell that you put me in the stable in the last segment, and I got a little frisky.
Yes.
I got a little.
So take this one. Take the Obamacare one because I hate it when you start fiddling around with the equipment in the office. You never know what's going to happen after. You don't know if the lights are going to go off.
I can't help it. I gotta be doing something.
Yeah, he's like a 2-year-old. Sometimes you can't stick him in the corner though.
So Ryan, we have this legislation, this Affordable Care Act that was passed to very little fanfare back in 2009.
Just a little.
It's been completely uncontroversial ever since then. I do not believe it's even been challenged in any of the federal courts of original jurisdiction in this country. I would assume, given all of the positive press and positive feedback surrounding the law, that Dr. Carson is pro.
Well, it's kind of funny because one of the things that Dr. Carson really launched onto the national scene with was the idea that this is really not where we should be.
Now, hold on. I'm shocked by that, but go ahead.
One of those few dissenters, if you will.
One of those few dissenters of the Affordable Care Act.
Just a few million, a few tens of millions, and
there's a few. There's 6. In a basement someplace, I think.
Somewhere.
I've heard. Yeah, they didn't protest it when it was in debate. Nothing, but no. So yeah, and that was where he got a lot of his profile from, and how and I think spoke eloquently. I don't know it.
Yeah, because they were.
I wouldn't say inaccurately, but I would say partisanly about the effects of the legislation. And so, but give us, I mean, is he a repeal and replace, or is he a wholesale repeal, or is he let's fix what we've got? Because a lot of Republicans like some of the features of Obamacare.
Well, I think you'd have to pick out which features that is they like. Ben understands
No, they do that, though. Well, they go ahead and they pick out, we want this, this, and this.
Ben understands that this thing's got to go. It's a repeal this bill. But he also understands there's people with pre-existing conditions and there's other things, and we're in a country where we want to deal with that. Mm-hmm. And he thinks it's better for us to do that on a lower level than the federal government, because anytime the federal government or major bureaucracies get involved, whether that's this huge insurance bureaucracy or this huge government bureaucracy, that you're getting in the way of the doctor. I mean, he knows better than anyone, as the neurosurgeon at Johns Hopkins and somebody who has helped advance the medical industry possibly more than anyone else we could name in the last few decades, if you will. He's somebody that knows it very deeply on a level, and when he's talking out there about how we need health savings accounts, how we need things, because the vast majority of those doctors' visits are the low-cost, minor things. How we can expand that. Something he brought up, actually, too, was how Texas enacted a lot of tort reform, and in counties you used to have smaller amounts of doctors. You had all kinds of counties, they didn't even have people in the pediatrics, or they didn't even have some of these other these other people out there for rural doctors. Now, since they've enacted tort reform, they've been able to expand their base of doctors astronomically.
Well, there's a couple of things that you said there that I'm interested in asking a little bit more about. And boy, do we have enough time to get into this? Probably not.
We're going to go into the next segment.
The first thing is the conversation. Now, the Republicans had a good day last November, and have started off. Did they do another vote to repeal or not? No, they haven't yet. I don't think here in the first month of 2015. I don't think they've done it yet. They plan to, is what I understand. But the conversation nationally about the Affordable Care Act seems to be, especially about the challenges to it, seems to be getting further and further away from the minutia. And that's where Republicans have lived since it was passed, is like the individual things that don't work. The 40-hour work week, the number of employees that an employer should have, all the little details about the things that they don't like about it. That's where it's been, where they've been living and picking at that stuff, and how the whole thing it's too big and it'll collapse. The conversation seems to have moved more toward, at least on the left, challenging each one as they pop up. The left now says, okay, if you're going to, it's going to be the law of the land at least until 2016. Are you going to run a national campaign in 2016 for president that says you're going to take away the health insurance of millions and millions of people? How would Ben Carson address that criticism?
Obamacare has lost every time it's been on the ballot. Every time.
Until it wins, though.
Obamacare has lost.
So has gay marriage, though.
Every election it's been on the ballot, it has lost.
If you go with that, with all due respect, Ryan, if you go with that, that's not a winning strategy for 2016.
Yeah,
absolutely it is. I mean, Mitt Romney would be president if he didn't have Massachusetts healthcare hanging around his neck and could have actually had that thing. And that, that's amongst other things
that
was hanging around his neck.
Alienated every single conservative Republican I know.
True.
Now, part of the thing that Lefty and I talk about all the time, and of which we agree, right? Last time I said we agreed, we didn't, but this time I think we agree. Unless the Republicans come up with a plan to replace Obamacare that is feasible, not just, we have a plan and then never show up with one. I think campaigning on Obamacare is going to be a platform, but if he focuses on that without a plan, it's not going to work for him. So what's Ben Carson's plan to be able to replace Obamacare and how to fix our healthcare system?
And there's no one trick pony as it goes here. It's not like you're going to hear a broken record on Obamacare. I mean, you're going to hear it needs to be thrown out, period. But you're also going to hear that I'm a doctor. I know how to fix it. Okay, I know how to get in here. I understand that we have to have tort reform. We have to deal with the fact that there are pre-existing conditions out there, and we have to really the number one thing we've got to do is make sure the HSAs are a big part of doing this, because you can't do it without taking it out of that big bureaucracy.
And that's the second thing. We'll probably have to do it on the second side of the break.
Let's take a break. We're going to continue on with Obamacare and then get to the Second Amendment. Thanks everybody for tuning in. We'll be back right after this break. Want to thank DJ Maddie G for being in the house, doing all the production stuff that she does. We want to thank Jen Allen for doing our social media. And I want to say hi to Katya and Dasha. And Uncle Pat's out on TV again. I'll see everybody back after the break.
From the RE/MAX Real Estate Concept Studios, this is Webcast One Live.
Get away from us, you mean old credit card. We don't have any more money. We're in trouble now. Save us! Help! Somebody save us! Somebody help! Help! Save us!
Hi, I'm Tom Coates from Consumer Credit of Des Moines. If your credit card's a little too animated, give us a call.
Hooray! We're saved! Consumer Credit! You're our hero!
If Tom Coates from Consumer Credit of America was your personal webmaster, Tom would filter out all bad debt emails. If Tom was your mailman, you'd never get any debt reduction junk mail. If Tom Coates was a lineman, he'd block any phone calls offering to reduce your credit card debt.
Hi, I'm Tom Coates with Consumer Credit of America, and we're still your best choice for credit counseling. We're local, we're accountable, and we can do more. You make the call when the time's right for you.
When it comes to competition, there really is none for Consumer Credit of America.
Hey, welcome back, everybody. Thanks for sticking around. We're here with our special guest for the entire hour, kind enough to give us his time, Ryan Rhodes, the State Director of the Iowa Legacy Foundation. I want to finish up on Obamacare, the ACA, the 1,000-page behemoth, whatever you want to call it. Because there's one thing that you kept coming back to, and I don't know if this is what Dr. Carson's one of his big things is tort reform. And you hear a lot of the folks on the right talk about tort reform as this thing, as one thing. What specifically, and for people that don't know what a tort's a civil lawsuit for some kind of harm involved, either through intentional means or negligence. But tort reform has got to be, you got to break that out a little bit, because what specifically about the civil legal system would you reform?
Well, I mean, really what it should be called is lawsuit abuse reform.
Okay.
And that's probably a better name for it. The fact is, I think unless you've been in the medical field a lot, you don't understand the frivolous lawsuits that come out from it. I came in for such and such, but something else was wrong and you didn't fully find it, or whatever, and I'm suing you. Or I wish you would have done more. You didn't give me enough medicine, so I have this pain and suffering. So, we're not talking about like gross negligence, okay? When somebody does something like, operates on the wrong limb or something, things like that, yes, there has to be stuff like a way of remedying it. But when you have these people that run in that consistently just sue and sue and sue and settle and sue and settle and sue, it creates this pattern where you have people settling, and it's just cheaper to do that than go through the whole court costs. My mom is actually a nurse practitioner, and she's dealt with that. That on her basis, where somebody came in and they have to when that happens, you have doctors ordering more tests that are unneeded. You also so that drives the costs up. You also have doctors even more scared to practice basic medicine there, because they're afraid that somebody's going to come in and just be seeking the check instead of seeking the care.
And I understand what the problem is. I guess my question is, I mean, you talk about frivolous lawsuits, but I mean, you can't ban lawsuits, right? You can't. There's no good. I mean, so would you? But you can do things statutorily, like I don't know, limit jury awards. But you're talking about settlements. So how would you reform the tort system?
Well, I mean, that's a...
Not you, but how would...
I mean, that's an even more...
What's he advocating?
That's obviously even... it gets into a lot more detail, but one of the things, like I said, he mentioned is the fact that Texas did it on their state level, and their doctors, the number of doctors in Texas have gone up. The number of people in the rural areas that had access to medicine has gone up, because they dealt with a problem in the system. By getting out there and by letting people know that you're not going to be able to just sue rampantly. There are penalties to do that. I mean, what exactly those look like is obviously a whole discussion that has to get in there, and that can expand. And I can't wait for Dr. Carson to get out there and talk to people about that. But as it is, these are things that have to be addressed. Everybody wants to sit there and say there's one end-all, multiple 1,000-page bill that's going to fix our healthcare system. It's not. We are going to have to look at this and tackle systematic problems that are in there, whether it's tort reform, HSAs, the fact that people are out there, not getting the healthcare they need with pre-existing conditions as well. Every single one of these is issues that are part of it, and tackling it with a behemoth government bureaucracy is not the way to go.
Well, and of course, being a Republican, I would agree. Blake and I talk about this quite a bit. And in fact, it's my brother Joe's a fairly conservative guy, but he's always disagreeing with the tort reform thing as well. And, the bottom line is until you're a doctor having to face, a lawsuit from the James Sokolov School of Law, people don't understand. There's a lot of waste in medicine. I freely admit this. I'm one of the perpetrators of it. There's something called the Depakote level. You have to get that, even though the part that really is dangerous for people to take, it doesn't show up on the test. But you have to get it because if something happens if a patient's on debit code and you don't have that test, there's the end of your defense. So I get this expensive test, $200 for every patient that's on it every 3 months or every 6 months, depending on how long they've been on it. Adds a lot to the healthcare system. And I'm just one small doc here in Iowa. So, the tort reform is very important, to bring some kind of common sense back into, suing people. I mean, let's take a look at this. Lawyers look at who has the pocketbook, right? If there's no money to be had, lawyers, no matter how much they're into the justice system, want justice for their client, are going to tell their client there's no money here. And there are lawyers who will go out there and sue just because it's the right thing to do because they're defending their client. But most of the time, you don't get lawyers like that. You get lawyers who say, well, there's no money in it. Those are the things that tort reform is going to help, I really believe.
Keeping lawyers from... I just don't understand what tort reform means, I guess. But we should probably move on because we're running out of time.
All right, we'll do it. So we'll go on to the Second Amendment. Now, I'll be perfectly honest. There's a man I met at last year's Faith and Freedom rally, and he was a big Carson supporter, and it was apparently one of the national people trying to get Ben to run. That's where I got my bumper sticker. And here late last year, Ben Carson gets up there and starts saying a lot of anti-Second Amendment rhetoric. And I'll be honest, made me stop and take a second think. Well, hold on, what's going on here? And he was saying a lot of stuff about, well, you need more gun control and all that. And he has reversed himself since then. I just want you to kind of explain what changed Ben Carson's mind about the Second Amendment issues. And we got about 3 minutes in this segment, and we can carry through to the next one.
Well, it's interesting. Ben Carson had a very, very good national call where he talked about that, and he's explained that as it goes, the Second Amendment is constitutionally protected, and that's not going to be a problem for him. He's not going to be getting out there, and no one's going to have to worry about him coming for the guns. So I know that is one of the hits. I know there's a lot of other candidates that want to spread, and it's not entirely misinformation. He did say some things that obviously he had to explain. And you know what? He has said, come up and freely ask me on the trail, and he'll get in. But when you say something like that, you sometimes nobody's perfect in the national on the national thing, and you get an education quick. And I think that is something that Ben went through and realized, hey, look, this is obviously something. We don't want the government getting out there and stifling a First or Second Amendment.
Yeah, but what he really said inflamed the pro-gun rights advocates.
What he said was relating to the assault rifles in cities. I understand that, but if you ask Ben, you will fully get the answer that he is not looking to push any more gun legislation.
All right. Well, that's good to know. We're going to be back right after this break. We're going to finish up the show, and we want to thank all of our sponsors, Bertrosian Associates at BertrosianAssociates.com, Lubina's Law Firm, Halo Capital at DesMoinesInterestrates.com, Des Moines Anesthesia. They're at 515-574-6442. Please follow us on Facebook and Twitter at Doc and Lefty, and then also go to docandlefty.com and keep up with our blogs. We'll be back right after this break. I want to thank everybody for tuning in.
Bertrosian Associates will provide you with a friendly, caring, and confidential place to find help for mental health concerns. We are ready for your call. We are proud to work with military personnel and their families. Our doctor, Dr. J. Patrick Bertroche, provides a full range of psychiatric services for children, adolescents, and adults in a forthright and informative manner while maintaining a casual, comfortable, and relaxed atmosphere. Our licensed mental health therapists provide individual counseling to children, adolescents, and adults, including couples and marital counseling. Visit our website at BertrosianAssociates.com for more information or call 515-334-9484. Our offices are located at 5525 Meredith Drive in Des Moines, just east of Skate North off Merle Hay Road. Isn't it time to talk to someone? Take care of yourself and your family. Contact Bertroche and Associates.
Hey, welcome back, everybody. We're here with Ryan Rhodes, the state director for the American Legacy Foundation. Now, we've been talking this entire time about some of the issues of the prospective candidate, the national figure, Dr. Ben Carson. He's from
Well, he grew up in Detroit. He lives in Baltimore now.
Okay. East Coast. I wanted to say Florida, but I couldn't remember. So thank you for setting me straight.
With a Texas connection.
Fair enough. That's
so he's at all the big metropolitan areas.
Yep. Yeah, and he the trifecta right there. Detroit, Baltimore, and Texas. One of these things is not like the other. One of these things just doesn't belong in those three city areas. But I wanted to we talked a little bit about the beginning of the show, but what is some of the work that you do at the American Legacy Foundation, other than advocate for Dr. Carson, but just sort of in general?
It's an issue advocacy. It's issues close to Dr. Ben Carson, Carson's heart, as well as helping build the American Legacy Center. You can go there online, the American Legacy Center, and you can see a little bit more about it. What our goal is to really change that national discussion and do that. I mean, he was active going around, and he had candidates signing a pledge that was a little bit more simplistic or simplified than just the multiple I guess issue papers that would be on the website, and said, look, we want to get candidates elected around the country. He did that in Senate race, U.S. Senate races all over. Joni's race was another one of those where he was excited to get involved with some of that stuff. So you have that, and that's on his PAC side of things. That was on his PAC side of things that he founded, and then the American Legacy Center has done issue advocacy. So there's things, multiple things involved there, and really it's about restoring America and advancing things that are going to take the government out of the hands of big federal bureaucracies and put it more back on a local level, whether that's Obamacare or whatever it may be, as it comes back and forth, whether it's making sure that we're not sending more massive taxes by raising another gas tax on the national level or anything amongst that. So.
All right. So what's your plan for 2015 here? I mean, what do you see in your future here immediately for the next year?
Well, for the next short period of time, I'll be working with this, and we'll be going all over the state advocating for these limited government issues, and encouraging anyone who's involved to sign on to that. And then my hope would be that Dr. Ben Carson decides I'm in and I'm running, and we can get people from all over the ground, all over the state, excited and out to do that, to take the Iowa caucuses by storm. So
what do you think his percentage chance of running is?
I think it's very high. I think you'll see
over 90.
I think it's up around that, probably around that area. I think he's got him and his wife will have to sit down and make that final decision. Him and his wife Candy, and they are. I think they're excited. They've just, when you get out there, you see such a grassroots enthusiasm for him, and I think that's something that he's able to really feed off of. I mean, you don't see him necessarily having high highs or low lows, but you walk out of that speech and you listen to him and you're inspired. I mean, it's something that we just haven't seen in a long time.
So I'm sorry.
I was just gonna say, you may not know the answer to this, but you've got Jeb Bush, you've got Mitt Romney, you've got Mike Huckabee, Jeb jumped in, and Mitt, I guess, is looking. Yeah. Well, it's more seriously, but you got these three guys basically forcing everyone to speed up their timetable.
Yep.
What has Dr. Carson given that any thought? Does that affect his decision making? I saw online that he's thinking about mid-May.
Well, I mean, for his time of announcement, I mean, he's said that May 1st, potentially March, the end of March would be a time that he would let people know and make that announcement. His campaign chair, the person who would be his campaign chair if he ran, Terry Giles, has said that they'll probably be forming an exploratory in the next 3 to 4 weeks, and that's something I really hope to see. But I think all the timelines I think speed up when you've got to get on the ground running. I mean, we're already 5 months ahead of where we were a year, 4 years ago.
Just as a broader political question, does this jumping in early help or hurt the party, regardless of if it's Republican or Democrat?
The more debate we have and the more a candidate is able to show that he can put something together, energize the base, and deal with the campaign setup, the fundraising, every apparatus of it, I think the more it gives him a chance to prove that he should be the next president of the United States. And so I don't think it hurts in any way, shape, or form. I don't think debate ever hurts us. Whether it's not even about the party, and I think Ben would say this too. This is about our country, and if you're not focused on that, you're not in it for the right reason.
Who do you think on the left's going to run? I mean, Hillary's making all kinds of noises that she's going to go. Anybody else that you've heard of?
I mean, you've got Governor O'Malley, you got Jim Webb, you've got multiple other people, but right now, I just don't think you have someone. I think the Democrats are clamoring for somebody like Elizabeth Warren, but she keeps denying it and denying it and denying it. Elizabeth Warren would have a definite base to possibly threaten Hillary. I mean, but Hillary's at this point,
she's a tough campaigner.
More power to her. I mean, she polled at 43% in the last poll against George Bush. They're both very, very known quantities. That should scare both of them on a national level, because if you put somebody like Dr. Carson in this, the fact is, he's polling pretty well, and half the people don't even know who he is yet. When you start introducing a man with that kind of a life story of literally the true embodiment of the American dream, you all of a sudden see people you've never seen get involved in politics.
And that's going to be how it is. That's such a tough question, because and here's what's so dumb about how these things go. Back in 2010, 2008, 2005, 2006, the Republican Party's dead. Never coming back. 2008 and 2010, oh my God, the Republican Party is now a regional party. They can't even launch a national campaign anymore back in 2008 because they're so just isolated to the mountain states in the South. That's what you heard all over the place. Now, and a lot of, I think the party writ large bought into some of that for a little while, regrouped, came back, took 2010, took 2014. The Democrats have won major national elections in my recent memory and are acting as if they've been out of power since the Carter administration, with their organization, with the party, with the party apparatus. It just doesn't make any sense to me how we can't even bring up anybody that sounds like Hillary's the best we can do. I caucused for Hillary in 2008. I don't feel like caucusing for this time around. Yeah. I just you can't, and I'm not so certain that Elizabeth Warren's got the political base to win a national election. I don't get what the Democrats are thinking right now.
Well, I think you may see a play by Andrew Cuomo. It's possible. I just don't know that he's willing to take on that machine because they're close to the Clintons.
Yeah.
Let me interject. We don't have time for this question, but I'll just made a comment. One of our listeners said, well, I think the lack of his foreign policy experience can be something that can hurt him down the road. I believe it's something that could, because traditionally Republicans are supposed to have good foreign policy background.
It's almost never what really turns an election, though.
Yeah, it never really does. We want to thank everybody for tuning in. I want to give Ryan a gift. We're going to start giving our guests some gifts. This is from the inaugural batch of Bertroche and Bertroche Brewing Company, Corp. And so I want to give you some of this. My nephew and I make this stuff at home, and so now we figure we might as well give it out to our guests. So
fantastic.
So this is not a promotion. It's just the only box I could find. Right. You got Hefeweizen in there. You got that's Hefeweizen. That's German rice beer. That is extra hop. That is Irish stout, and that is Moose Drool. right there. So thanks a lot
you.
for coming in, Ryan. We will see everybody back next week. I'll be phoning mine in. Hopefully we'll be able to come up with a good topic by then that we can talk about from Hawaii. Thanks to Ryan Rhodes for showing up and discussing Ben Carson's political future. Anything going on with you this weekend?
Just my birthday, buddy.
All right. Happy birthday.
Thanks, man.
So hopefully you'll be over your hangover by Tuesday.
I plan on being over my hangover by early Saturday morning because I got to help a buddy move some lumber down in Lamoni.
Well, nothing better than moving lumber on a Saturday, especially in Lamoni, Iowa.
That's right. Well, Lamoni, Iowa's got that great pizza place where all the Graceland kids go. I can't remember the name of it, but they're not a sponsor anyway, so whatever.
All right. Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot, everybody, for tuning in. We'll be back next week for another exciting show.
Facebook, Twitter, Doc and Lefty. Maddie's awesome. Thanks, everybody.
Yes.
Hi, I'm Representative Tom Shaw, and I love these guys. Both of them.
Love these guys. Get over here. Love both of them.